Yeah, Alina and I were there. It was incredible. I know we have worked so hard to get that game played at TD Garden, so I think just to see the fans in the building and showing up, I think they had over 10,000 or 11,000 people there, is incredible, and I think they're just going to keep building off of it.
The reception that the two of you got, though, when they announced you there was electric. What does that say for women's sports?
I think it just shows how passionate the people are about women's hockey and women's sports in general, and if you're there and you're feeling the energy, like it's real. I think a lot of people don't realize it until they come and like actually walk into the rink and come to our games, and I think it says a lot about how far the sport has come.
Just a lot of penalties in this game, obviously.
Yeah.
Can we just kind of get your thoughts on how that all went down and why you think it was so feisty today?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it was feisty. I mean, I think it's tough to manage, the energy, especially, the highs and lows. Like, you're up 2 goals, and then I honestly don't even know how many penalties were in the game, but it seemed like the entire second.
30 minutes.
Yeah. 2 teams that are, looking for some points, and we're battling for the, playoff spot already, right? It's you can't wait until the end of the year to worry about battling for a playoff spot. So I think, you have 2 teams going head to head that both need points, and so I think that's where the physicality comes from, for sure.
Too closely called?
I mean, we've had worse games, so
Right.
we'll take it.
Right.
Aerin, right before when the goal was disallowed, you actually took your pad off when you were working on your skate. Was that an issue for you, or did you notice something? And was it fine after you fixed it?
Yes, it was fine after I fixed it. It just was my lace came undone.
Okay. It's not often you see a goalie take their pad off on the ice and stuff.
There's a lot she does that normal goalies don't.
Kind of speaking of that, you got into it a little bit when the night Levis was going down. You don't usually do that. Kind of what brought you into the fight a little bit?
Yeah, I normally try to stay out of that stuff. I just didn't like how she was hitting Hill, and that's our captain, and at the end of the day, she literally pushed me into the net. Was kind of interfering with my positioning, so I guess I got a little feisty.
A heck of a cross check by the captain, too.
What is your mentality with remaining calm in situations like that, where the energy is high and you go into overtime and shootout? What's going through your mind during these games?
I think just taking it one shot at a time. This game just goes to show like a team is never down and out with how competitive the league is. So as a goalie, it's so important to stay focused the entire game because things can change really quickly.
First goalie to reach 1,000 saves in the league. Does that include the playoffs? We were all trying to figure out if that included the playoffs or if it's just regular season.
No, I can do that for you.
I mean, the first 2 games in Montreal last year, you had over 100 saves in those 2 games, so we weren't sure. But the amount of shots that you face every single night, how do you keep that? How do you do that?
I think just last year I learned really what it takes to be a professional player. Like, you have to take such good care of your body, and mentally you have to take care of yourself, and I think that's something I'm continuing to work on, and having 1 year under my belt this year, I can just continue to grow as a player, and it is a really hard league, and especially for goalies, but I think our team has done a really good job this year actually limiting some of those chances against, so they helped me out too.
It does include the playoffs.
It does. Thank you. Alina, can you take us through your goal? You pretty much had every rope on your back.
Yeah, I think we have practiced that in practice a little bit. Just taking away that lane if we go on a puck almost like one-on-one. So just try to get body positioning and then somehow get it on net. It was definitely a little lucky, but I tried whatever I can and it worked out.
You've come alive in the last 5 games, 5 points in your last 5 games. What is it about it? And we had a little birdie tell us that you had a visitor today.
Oh.
Does that have something to do with it?
Who's this birdie, Faith?
Yeah, I guess I obviously wish my start to the season was a little better, more productive for the team, but yeah, just stuck to it. I believed in me every single day, and I knew it's gonna come together. Yeah, definitely always super special if I have people from home here, and I mean, yeah, I give a lot of credit to them that I can be here, and whenever they're watching or coming, I'll just do whatever I can to make them proud.
You guys have defeated New York both times they've come to visit. What is the key to defeating this team on home ice?
I think we feed off our fans a lot. We've played well at home. I think that's a big part of it. I think next game is at their rink, and we've had success against them, so I think that'll just give us confidence moving forward. We know that we're the better team and can get some more points against them.
Packed house today, what was it like having all the fans there?
We felt the energy. It's a big difference when the building is loud and you have the whole stadium behind you. Yeah, it's super fun, and again, that gives an extra push, and yeah, you just find that extra energy in yourself and want to make them happy and cheer on for goals.
Coach, I ask you about Aerin, I feel like every week. Instead of just asking how do you think her mental side allows her to come in every week and dominate as she does?
I think just her, the way she shows up day in and day out, she's pretty steady Eddie. She's never too high, never too low, and I think it's huge for, whatever kind of moment you're going to face in these games, because they seem to be crazy every single night. The parity across this league is incredible, and she spoke to taking care of her body, and I think that's a huge part of learning what it's like to be a professional athlete and being ready to go when you get the nod to go in. And we've seen night in and night out her show up, and I don't know if 1,000 shots against is good for our defense, but we know that Franks is going to show up for us every night.
Liz Liner played with her 2 years now. How have you seen her grow?
I mean, it's so much fun seeing her on the ice, but also the way she carries herself off the ice. We've been really good friends now since about 6-7 years, and we're roommates now. We live together. She's a great human and very grounded. Comes from a really nice family, and they're just very grateful every day to get to do what she can do, and. Yeah, I learn from her every day, and I have fun with her every day.
What's your roommate pet peeve?
I think we live really well together.
Yeah, so far nothing.
How conscious are you away from the rink that the way you represent the Boston Fleet now is helping to bring women's hockey to the forefront? And it's a question for all three of you.
I think personally I've just seen how big an impact we have, just tiny little things that we do, and we did a meet and greet before the women's bean pot and had girls like hysterical crying to see us, and it just shows you how much you can impact someone's life in just such a small moment. So I think we always have to hold ourselves to the highest standard, and I know that everyone in our locker room does. But when you have like interactions like that, when you see like how impactful it can be, it shows you.
And yeah, I think it's not just here in the league or in the U.S. or Canada. I think I can just feel the excitement and support all the way back home and in Europe. People are watching, they're staying up late to watch the games because they want to see us play. They love the product on the ice, and they also love how happy people are because they can watch us. And I hope it keeps going like that.
Yeah, I think you never really heard about women's hockey maybe once every 4 years when the Olympics came around, and there's obviously a big following when that happens. But I think this league has really shown, not only our sport but the world, that the magnitude we can have on the change in all these young little girls. And I think, going to these outreach games and playing in these huge facilities and filling the stands and seeing these little signs, you realize, the impact you really do have on the youth coming into this game. So it's exciting.
Speaking of international hockey, we're heading into the second break now. Where do you assess just kind of where your teams play at? Is that what you want to improve, what you think's going well?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to build every single game, and I think that's important. We had a big long stretch on the road and didn't come away with 3 points, but managed to, grab a point almost every single game that we had for, our 17-day road trip that we were on. And I think it's important that, when you are on those long road trips, it's how are you getting better each and every game. And I do think that we're continuing to build every game, and looking forward to continuing to build off this win. I think it was a really huge win for us as a team, mentally and in the standings, obviously. But I think it's important for us to, if you're going away, to have fun with your team you're going away with. But the girls that are here are going to be working hard, and we're getting ready for our next stretch.